Today in the crypto space, we're seeing a bit of a dip throughout the market. Bitcoin down approximately 3% below that $70,000 level, and Ethereum below that $3,500 mark, down approximately 5%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are obviously in the red as well, coming down to those lower levels, giving us an opportunity to buy some dips. Look at Cardano, Polkadot, Near Protocol, and many more. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Bitcoin because at the end of the day, if Bitcoin does continue coming down to those lower levels, guys, we got to be able to align our portfolio accordingly to take advantage of the fire sales. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins are looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. We can see that the overall market cap of the entire space is down approximately 3%, while trading volume is increasing, which means that people are selling off in the immediate short term. There's a bit of a sell-off, people taking profits, a bit of fear in the market, given that Bitcoin is, breaking a bit of structure to the downside. Obviously, not a good look for the crypto space if you see Bitcoin coming down. However, guys, big picture, it's still within range. It's still within structure. Nothing really to worry about. However, yes, volatility can be taken advantage of on lower time frames. So let's keep on looking what's going on here. We have Ethereum coming down. We have BNB coming down. Solana's coming down. And the general consensus throughout the market is that we're getting dips. Now, let's see what kind of range we're talking about here. We got AVAX coming down 3.5%, Cardano about 5%, give or take, Doge the same thing, Chainlink coming down 5%, and you can see that generally speaking, some of them are still even going sideways. Like you have Aptos kind of doing well, and you have Stacks doing okay, like it's only down 2%, but at the same time you have Near Protocol coming down, grinding to those lower levels, potentially giving us an opportunity to buy at better prices. Right now it's at $6.72, down approximately 11% in the last 7 days. Guys, don't forget about all the bullish narrative that was behind Near Protocol, and then all of a sudden we get a sell-off and nobody's looking at it. Just make sure that you understand the value proposition behind a lot of these projects that are coming down to these lower levels, because it could get you in at a great risk to reward ratio opportunity. Filecoin coming down 5%. Arbitrum, Dog with Hatton, 11%. You can see that it's about 5 to 10%. Maybe the average is about 5 at the current moment. Meme coins look like they're falling a little harder. Of course, the volatility is definitely there. Even BitTensor is continuing its dip. It's down approximately 18% as we speak. Not a good look for BitTensor, but big picture, BitTensor is at $500 still. Okay, so it did very well. Like even considering from, entry levels at the bottom zones, there's a lot of people with some major gains. And of course, right now, when we see a bit of weakness in Bitcoin, individuals are going to be taking profits to protect their gains. And that's exactly how it works. Okay, guys. So just understand sell-offs do happen. And then all of a sudden you have some randoms like Core just flying, doing its thing, up 255% in 7 days. Good stuff there for Core. And you have Thorchain coming down. So you do have some opportunities, while you have some random anomalies, like even Jupiter doing really well here, but in a retracement in the short term, as you can see that little dip on the tail end right there. But Celestia's coming down. These are opportunities, guys. A lot of red throughout the market. I would say an average of about 5% is definitely market wide. CFX a little bit lower. If you're interested and you were on the sidelines watching CFX run, right now CFX is down 21% in 7 days. We're in double digit dips here, right? And that's an opportunity for the most part. I started getting interested at a 20%, 30% dip, but obviously I'm looking for confluence of horizontal support. Once we get those conditions, fully reset and all that good stuff, then we can get a bit of confidence to be buying in. I've been dabbling into a few projects just very lightly immediately just to have some of that exposure. But now that we're getting a bit of red, who knows how the rest of the week is going to play out. If we get another red week, guys, it's very possible that I'm going to be scaling in a lot heavier in the next little while into some really good projects. So guys, I encourage you guys to subscribe, click the bell, obviously join that Discord. The Discord is a great community to get up to speed with what's happening and all the opportunities throughout the market. So dips, that's the agenda for today. We do have about approximately a 5% dip market wide. Guys, is it time to take full advantage of it? Let's take a look at what's happening here with Bitcoin. Let's see what's going on. We can see that Bitcoin at the end of the day is still looking good with regards to the weekly. The weeklies, yes, it's overbought. There's no signs of bearish divergence just yet. I want to start off here on these large time frames because a lot of the times we start zooming in and we see red, and then we all of a sudden start becoming very fearful of this market. But I just want you to see that every time we've kind of made a consolidation at little tops, assuming that this could be the top, we get a few more liquidity grabs. We get a few more, volatile scenarios, and that could be that we do eventually close this candle, maybe even bullish. We can get this bought up and into the green at no time, and then all of a sudden sweep the highs like it has done many times over. Given the fact that there's no sign of bearishness on the weekly, how can we be totally confident that we're going to be rolling over here like we have had in the past? We got to look for more indicators. All right, guys, let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail, because of course, once you start looking big picture, you start looking at what's happening in the market in the immediate short term, is that we got the halving around the corner. We have been getting a bit of negativity in the last little while with Bitcoin, not going in the regular trajectory to the upside and getting a lot of whipsaw price action. You can see these wicks straight up and then straight down. That's whipsaw price action that gets people wrecked, longs and shorts, type of thing. But still, there's no signs of divergence here on the weekly. So we got to be very clear that the weekly is still okay, right? And let's get onto the daily here for a second. This is where there's a story to be said, right? You can see a consolidation forming. I had these spider lines in here for a good while already. I would say at least a week. And we can see that the RSI is currently still in its trend, right? It's in the chop zone, right? But at the 50% mark, which it hesitated. You can see that it's pretty much a big hesitation right around here. However, if it gets oversold and we start coming down to the lower ends of the RSI, it doesn't look good for the price, right? The price could definitely start coming down. We can get down to the bottom of the range, test range lows, maybe even break down to about 52,000. That is definitely a viable scenario to see a quick flash crash, buy up opportunity, then run. The reality is, what's going to happen to altcoins if that happens, right? Is that going to give us an opportunity to scale into some of the altcoins? And I say yes, right? I say it's very possible that we see some range being formed here for Bitcoin. Now, I don't know if it's going to be that deep all the way down to 52, or if we're going to consolidate into some sort of symmetrical triangle or a bull flag or whatever happens here. As of now, it looks like we are confirming this low. We did confirm this low, this higher low. Higher low is not looking good. Now, do we make a higher low right here or a higher high? We made it a lower high. So a lower high, a higher low. Let's see what kind of consolidation we make. That's the reality here. We need to see something give. We need this consolidation to give us a contraction phase. And then when we see the contraction, we need an expansion. And when we start expanding, the probability is after a flag like this or some sort of symmetrical triangle, it is a continuation pattern to the upside. But the question is, what's going to happen as we unfold? What's going to happen with the rest of the market as Bitcoin kind of gets into its volatile state? I'm going to rest assured that the volatility is also going to permeate into the altcoin market, and it's very likely that after we get any little bounce off of any horizontal support, whether it be diagonal, horizontal, or anything like that, any type of support based on previous price action, it's likely that we see a good reaction in the altcoin market. And if altcoins outperform or altcoins bounce a lot harder and recover a lot stronger, it's very likely that we get into this altcoin season. Guys, when Bitcoin goes sideways, the market tends to shift its attention onto altcoins, and it's definitely overdue. So if you look at the momentum here on the RSI on the daily, look, it could get oversold. Let's be prepared for that psychologically. What does that happen? What happens there for the altcoins? Guys, look what's happening to altcoins right now. Bitcoin is down approximately 3-4%, while we have some altcoins down 5 to 10%, give or take, depending on the project, depending on the market cap, and so on. So this is what we really have to understand, is that the larger cap projects won't take a bigger bigger dip, but the ones that are low cap are going to have some volatility in them. And then, that's the question. Is it an opportunity rather than, maybe it's time to get defensive on the capital that we have deployed to defend your initial investments or even your gains in this matter? Because coming down to lower levels does look a bit scary because of this divergence that's happening here and follow through and all of that. The question is this the bottom? Is this the bottom, or do we come down to 52? That's the hard part. Okay, the MACD right now, EMA's facing down, not a good look. Okay, we anticipated an EMA cross, but until I get a green little histogram bar, I am never really confident. In fact, you should never be 100% confident, but it is a better indicator to see a little green histogram bar, a nice EMA cross to give you that confidence that, yes, maybe we're getting a bit of a spike to the upside. It's not over yet. It could be possible that we finally get this fake out over with like we have done in the past. Look at that. We get fake outs all the time. We get a bit of green and then this and that. So let's see what happens. But as of now, I'm not moving. I'm not really interested here. EMAs are coming down. If anything, there's a short bias, and you can see that the market could be a bit fearful here and expecting lower levels. Okay, so that's my take. And then we're going to take a look at the 4-hour real quick and see what's going on here. Based on the 4-hour, it does look like the RSI wants to get oversold, and it could come down a little bit more. And I'm not totally convinced that this dip is completely over just yet. The MACD, yeah, it's still there. EMAs are facing down, red histogram bars to the downside, entering the bearish control zone. And the RSI, like I mentioned, we're very overextended. We're extended away from the 200 daily, the EMA here, the yellow line, which means that we can get a bit of a pop or hesitation here, wait for the yellow line type of thing. But until we come down to a bit more of an oversold condition, I'm not really totally concerned. Like this could be, potentially getting more oversold, and I would love to see some double bottoms. I would love to see more data to support the fact that maybe we're going to get a divergence or some sort of reaction. I'm very aware that the momentum is also contracting. We came to a very volatile state here, very volatile state here and so on. But as of yet, we kind of are staying within a range of low volatility where we're not busting above the 70% or even below the 30%, which means that we're within a contained environment where we're seeing a contraction on the volatility. And that explains this consolidation. You know what I mean? And the MACD, again, we potentially are going to see these EMAs kind of contract to the point that eventually we get an expansion. And then when we get the expansion, we got to be prepared for a direction. At the current moment, like I mentioned, the direction looks like we should be breaking upwards, as it could be a symmetrical flag. But here on the 4-hour, buying the dips at lower levels, paying attention to horizontal support levels. Again, 52,000, maybe right around this horizontal, the thick white line, 60,000 is a very good one, because really we got a bit of a volume gap right below that kind of keeps me interested. You can see we went straight up with very little support in between, which means that if we don't hold the $60,000, $61,000 mark, we can fall right through and come down to about 52. And that's where things get a little bit dangerous, because there's going to be a lot of fear in the market, but we're hoping that we can get some support. Now, if we go back on the weekly, you can see that there's a legacy trend. Like there's a trend happening here based on this diagonal that you see I have going on. We did touch this a couple of times, and we do have a type of megaphone happening, and we do have horizontal supports in this level. Again, right around that 52, we got this top and this diagonal. And the reality is a bit of a back test, even down to, I don't know, 61, 62 would be absolutely fine, within this level. And that's where potentially I'm expecting it to happen. Again, this thick white line is like where we should be getting a bit of support based on the price action of the past, using the previous highs as support, and then getting that bounce right off of them as a confident indication that the market is willing and interested to get to higher levels. Okay, so Bitcoin right now, I know there's a bit of fear in the market. I understand that we're seeing a lot of the altcoins bleed out right now based on Bitcoin, but big picture, like guys, we're still okay. If you think about it, Bitcoin can hesitate right into this range, and we're still within a healthy bullish structure. We're still above the 200 daily EMA on the 4-hour. We're still above the 200 EMA on the daily, obviously, and the 4-hour. And even the weekly is still looking really, really good. As I mentioned in the past, guys, the weekly time frame, is still okay. Now, I know that if we close a candle like this based on the 4-hour, it's not going to look the greatest, and even the daily closing a red candle like this, it is a bearish engulfing candle very clearly, and it suggests that we get a continuation to the downside here. So just keep in mind, in my opinion, at this current moment, I have a bias short-term time frame to the downside, but long-term, I do feel like this should eventually break out bullish. But I'm not going to be getting into Bitcoin. I'm not going to be trading Bitcoin. No fresh longs or no shorts. I'm going to be looking at altcoins, especially some of the ones that I've missed out on opportunities, the ones that I've scaled in just a little bit just to get some exposure. I want to double down as we do come down, because I'm expecting that if Bitcoin comes down to this level, that we're going to get a great opportunity to scale into altcoins on the cheap. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. Feel free to join. It is a great time and place to make any requests about any projects that you may have, and I'll definitely put them in top priority. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.